John Stopka. Good morning, gentlemen. And John, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you. Thank you. It's glad to be here.
Now, Commissioner Ringley, it's always having a pleasure having you on. And Mr. Stopka, you and I have only gotten to speak over the phone. It's nice to finally meet you face to face.
Well, that's correct. You know, the commissioners, they try and just keep me locked up at the airport most of the time. But Tom decided to let me loose, one time. So
that's what happens when you give Commissioner Ringley the keys. He starts opening things up.
That's right.
Hey, let me just say, Floyd, that we're really happy that John has come on the show. And to my mind, this whole hour is about the airport, air service, and I'm just kind of the wingman, so John's going to do all the talking. If you want to ask me a question, you can, but it's all about the airport and air service.
Absolutely, absolutely, and a very vital airport it is, Sheridan's only airport out there. Now, John, what is your background? Where did you grow up?
I grew up here in Sheridan, born and raised in Sheridan, and this is where I've been, and it's probably where I'm going to end up dying.
Life lived, right?
Life lived. I've been other places, toured a lot of other places, and visited a lot of other places. And Sheridan, it just keeps coming back to me, and raised my kids and my family here, and it's a great place to live. And my folks were lived here, born and raised here, and so this has been my life.
How about your kids? Are they still in the area?
They're not. I've got one in California and one down in Colorado. They're both geologists, and they enjoy doing what they're doing. So,
wow, both of them decided to become geologists. That's pretty amazing. Did you have a lot of rocks in the house?
Well, we did, and I always had a background in the outdoors and hunting and camping and fishing, and I was a Boy Scout leader for 25 years, and they were Boy Scouts. They both Eagle Scouts, and they just kept following that outdoor path.
Absolutely. Now, when you were a little kid, what did you want to be? Did it have something to do with flying or airplanes?
I think as most kids are, you're always fascinated by airplanes and aircraft. I really got my interest in high school. I needed one more elective class to graduate high school with, and back then they actually offered a ground school, aviation ground school, so I took aviation ground school, and that just kind of, that was the one that roped me into it, and never could really afford to learn to fly after that, but it got me into interest and really interested in the operations side of an airport, the management side of an airport.
Yeah, and there was an app, I guess you could call it a game, that was out a while ago that allowed you to be an air traffic controller. And I actually used to play that quite a bit because it's quite fascinating to try and manage the comings and the goings of that. And it's great to have you here. And is there any aspect of your position that actually contributes to something like an air traffic control? Or are you more just like, I manage the people, I manage the area, and the goings on?
Yeah, what my job is I got fiscal responsibility over the airport itself, and the safety, the operations, just everything that goes on at the airport. Everything else at the airport are tenants. The airline's a tenant of the county. The fixed base operator, Bighorn Airways, they are a tenant. Hangar tenants, we own 50 some hangars. The county does, and we rent those out. And I really look at myself as a large landlord. I manage somewhere in the neighborhood of 80 to 85 leases. From ground leases to building leases to agricultural leases. So that's kind of what we do. And then I've got a crew that we do all the operations, maintenance, snow removal, aircraft rescue, firefighting, everything that takes place at an airport.
Wow, and a lot to it.
There is.
A lot to it.
There is.
Now, what inspired you to step into this position? Was it just that elective, and you were like, you know what, I really want to manage an airport?
Yeah, when I graduated, I just really, from high school, just didn't really know what I wanted to do. There was an opening at the airport with the county, and I'm sitting here today, 46 years later.
Oh, wow. That's pretty, 46 years.
Yes.
Up there at the airport. So primarily, this is what you've done.
This has been my life.
And you've worked your way up the chain of command.
I did.
And is this your favorite position at the airport, or was there something that you really, really enjoyed doing?
I've actually enjoyed it all. When I started out, the county actually was a fixed base operator. We used to fuel airplanes, and just like what Bighorn Airways does now, we sold that business. The county sold that business. I say we, it's like my airport.
Hey, 46 years.
The county sold that business in '78, and we just stayed in the operations maintenance of the airport and management of the airport at that time. And so I've gotten to do everything from fueling aircraft and tugging aircraft around to I was operations supervisor for 20-some years before I became airport manager. And so it all just kind of melds together, and I've just enjoyed it all. So.
And I think that's absolutely fantastic when you have somebody who's worked their way up the chain, and so they know every job.
Yep.
I mean, is there a job out there that you could say, well, I don't know much about that?
No, it's, from the firefighting, I've went all the way through firefighter 2 in the state of Wyoming. We all do, and we're all aircraft rescue firefighting certified. And so we've done that type of work. All my employees do it. They are all medically trained. I've got 2 of them. One that's working on his EMT now. I've got another EMT. The rest of them are all emergency medical responders, and so we cover everything.
Now, how much has the airport changed since 1976?
What a question!
Yeah, I imagine that's pretty loaded.
It is a loaded question. It is changed a lot. The physical. The runways are still the runways and those types of things, but we've shut down the main runway that was 1976. That runway was shut down in the early 90s. We had constructed a new runway. We've rebuilt the crosswind runway. It used to be 523. It's now 624. The new runway that was built in, that we dedicated in 94, it's actually been rehabbed once already. And in buildings, I mean, it's just grown,
And grown and grown.
It has, and continues to.
Now, when it comes to traffic itself, the increase in advancement of aircraft, you've gotten to pretty much witness the development of everything.
We have, and our general aviation traffic has increased exponentially over the years, and it has changed, and that's because aircraft have changed over the years. Back when I first went to work, you had a lot of piston-powered aircraft, a lot of turbine-powered aircraft, and then you get the occasional jet type of aircraft in. And now probably about 40 to 45% of our traffic is all jet traffic. Corporate jets and large turboprop aircraft. These smaller single-engine planes, they're still out there flying around, but you just don't see them as much. But we average on an average year somewhere around 45,000 operations at the airport with people coming and going, and that's just aircraft itself. So.
My goodness. That's an incredible.
It's busy. It's a busy
place.
It's a busy airport.
John, are we the largest private aviation?
What we used to be, I think we're still there. It's between us and Casper. We used to have we always like to brag that we have the largest number of based general aviation aircraft at the state, of any airport in the state. And we're sitting somewhere around 117 to 120 based aircraft at the state. That includes Bighorn Airways' aircraft and all the private aircraft that are up there.
That's amazing. Now, how many terminals are there?
We've got one terminal building, that serves the commercial air service, and then Bighorn Airways has their facility, which is a general aviation terminal. You can call it a terminal.
Now, for those jetliners, they just fly in, kind of find a spot to stop, and then disembark their passengers.
On the corporate aircraft, they'll all go to Bighorn Airways. Bighorn Airways services them. They'll go ahead and fuel them and move them where they need to. And if they got catering coming up, they take care of the catering for them. And they've got a facility, so they've got a pilot's lounge, and restroom facility, conference room that these pilots and corporations can utilize and use if they need to.
That's absolutely. But what is the biggest plane that our airport could handle right now?
The biggest plane that, that's a tough question. The biggest plane that we have had in there was a VC-10. It's not a DC-10, but a VC-10. It was actually when the Queen of England came in. It's a large aircraft, but we can take right now anything up to some of the larger 737s. We used to get 727s and DC-9s in with the VA here. The VA used to fly around a lot of their patients around the country. They don't do that much anymore. We don't see it here anymore. But 737s,
Wow.
as far as passenger aircraft, and they're not the biggest ones, but 110, 120, and really what it's based on is the weight of the aircraft. So anything, when we're getting up there around 100, 110,000 pounds aircraft, we're getting to our max.
Pushing it.
And it depends on temperatures. The warmer the temperature, that weight needs to go down just because of the length of the runway and the altitude of the airport, the elevation of the airport.
That's incredible that you have to factor all of that in. Because, for the most of us, we look at an airplane takeoff and land, and we think it's the same everywhere.
Right.
But it's not, is it?
It's not. It's not at all.
So does the Wyoming Army National Guard, or even the Air Force Guard, ever utilize our airport for operations? Can they bring in a C-130 Hercules?
Yeah, they can bring the C-130s in, and we get them in quite often. We'll have one in later this summer. We've got a group of a couple different group of Army people coming in. They're going to be bringing in some helicopters to do some training here in the mountains, and they're also bringing with them a C-130 this time. They were in last year and did some training around the area, but they're going to bring in another group that wants to come in with a 130. But the Wyoming National Guard, they come in quite a bit. We get a lot of helicopters, a lot of we get Blackhawks and Hueys and those types of things coming through all the time. So
Yeah, I've been in a lot of aircraft, and I would have to say, even though I've been in something as large as like the big old C-17s, the C-130 Hercules is probably my favorite military aircraft. She's just a big cargo plane. She's loud, she's obnoxious, she's rough to ride in, and I absolutely adore it.
and you mentioned the size of the airplane. The probably the biggest one we had was a C-141.
Oh, wow.
It came in, and that was years ago. They flew in Vice President Quayle, and what they did is they brought in his vehicles that he was going to use when he was in the area.
Holy cow, I would have loved to have seen that. All right, when we return, we're going to continue with the Sheridan County Commission and the Sheridan County Airport. This is Public Pulse on 930 KROE and 103.9 FM. Sheridan.
This is Eric Jacobson, partner at Eliason Financial. I think we can all agree that living and working in Sheridan, Wyoming is an absolute privilege. At Eliason Financial, we support our community through volunteerism, philanthropy, and making a positive economic impact. To learn more about who we are and what our wealth management advisors can do for you, visit Eliason Financial online or call 307-672-3010. Securities offered through Royal Alliance Associates, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC.
Is your home falling down, dilapidated, dingy, or downright disgusting? Are you wanting to sell but know that no realtor in their right mind would even come and take a look at your home? They would drive by and say goodbye, love. YO Renovation is here now. Get hold of Devon, and he'll come out take a look, and make you an offer. Quickly, confidentially, and with no judgment. YORenovation.com. We buy crappy and make homes happy.
Ready for a new career? TrueBuilt Builders, Sheridan's leader in custom post-frame buildings and homes, for over 24 years is expanding their workforce and is currently taking applications for all skill levels. You'll work for a community-oriented building company that's been supporting local sports teams, rodeo, FFA, 4-H, and more. You'll be offered a competitive wage depending on your experience with an opportunity for advancement and training. Contact Jim or Brenda at TrueBuilt Builders, 752-0631, or email TrueBuiltJobs@vcn.com.
Remember that kid in the country song whose dad was a coal miner? Had to haul water and bathe in the creek and sell a hog just to buy shoelaces? Well, if that family had just called 307 Wildcat Well Service, they'd have running water in the holler. A local company that specializes in locating water, drilling and pumps, residential or ranch, new wells, or repair service. So for water wells and all that goes with them, look for 307 Wildcat Well Service on Facebook, and you too will have cool, clean water. Water.
Hi, I'm Chad Axman with the Tongue River Valley Community Center. We would like to invite all youth grades 1 through 12 to participate in our Missoula Children's Theater Camp, June 20th through the 25th. Participation is free, and our production this year will be The Jungle Book, with performances on Friday the 24th and Saturday the 25th. For more information, please give us a call at 307-655-9419, trvcc.org, or stop by the auditions at 10 a.m. on June 20th at Tongue River High School.
On this week's episode of the Weekend Sports Wrap Podcast, it's championship season. We recap the Women's College World Series, preview the Men's College World Series, as well as the NBA Finals and the Stanley Cup Final. We also get into a possible relocation for a major MLB team. I give out suggestions for their new team name, such as the Memphis Barbecue Pulled Pork Sandwiches, and instead of pine tar, they use Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce. Those genius ideas and more on this week's episode of the Weekend Sports Wrap Podcast, wherever you get your podcasts.
Good morning and welcome back to Public Pulse, brought to you by our friends over there at Eliason Financial. I'm Floyd Whiting, and if you are on the go, you can take us with you. Head on over to the Sheridan Media Facebook page, and there you'll find this show streaming live and much, much more. You can see me drop my pen like I just did. Now, this morning, I am with the Sheridan County Commissioner, Tom Ringley, and Sheridan County Airport Manager, John Stopka. Before we go too much farther, we do have a caller. Go ahead, caller. You're on Public Pulse.
Yes, thank you very much. I do have a question for Commissioner Ringley, and it's simply this. The commissioners will be considering on Tuesday the 21st coming up a request to vacate a quarter mile of Carbon Hill Road. Now, Carbon Hill Road is a 60-foot wide county road. It extends from Section 5 near the airport all the way out to Beckton, 8.5 miles. Anyway, this road was established in 1892.
Vicki?
And wait, let me move forward.
Let me just interrupt. I know that's on the agenda, but because we've had two objections to the proposal, one of which is from you, we're going to have a hearing on the 28th of June, to hear the objectors. So we're not really going to deal with it on this next meeting agenda.
May I, nevertheless, sir, with your permission, I have a very specific question to ask in regard to this. And I feel it's worthy, and I didn't...
What is it, Vicki?
Well, here's what it is. We know that this road is a county road. We know it commences...
It's an easement.
No, it's a county road.
Right, but it's not really established.
Yes, it is. It was established...
I know, but there's not actually a road there.
Why don't you go ahead and ask your question, Vicki.
May I ask my... Yeah, we don't need to get into a...
Right, what's the question?
Ask the question.
Here is the question. Mr. Cameron Forbes is asking for this, and he's saying, will you vacate a quarter mile of Carbon Hill Road in the interest of public safety, due to the fact that it will be coming forward to put solar panels up there, and he feels it's in the interest of the public safety to do this on Section 8, 5584. But Mr. Forbes will have to readdress and go through this process once again with the planning office to get the permit to build this commercial solar facility up there.
Correct.
Now, wait, here is the question. If this is vacated, and what's really been the nut of the issue is, and this is the first time I've heard it as you articulated it, no, this isn't a road. No, it's not a road. It's just an easement. That could be argued in court.
Well,
because,
Vicki, what is what is the question?
If this vacation is granted, are you, in effect, if it is granted, not saying that it would be, but would you be basically engaging in an exercise in eminent domain, the taking of property,
No.
in this case a road,
No.
and
No.
why not?
No.
Why not?
We'll go through the process, okay, like we do all road
Give
vacations.
me the date again when you're going to
Vicki,
redress.
this is all based on conjecture on your part with the solar thing. It's going to go through the process. We'll deal with the road vacation. And if there's a solar application, then we'll deal with that. And that's all I'm going to tell you
When
for
did
right
you say
now.
that?
That's it,
All right.
Vicki. Thank
now,
you.
moving on, Mr. Stopka, can you tell us about the Wings and Wheels event that was held this past Saturday, June 11th, at the airport?
You bet. Yeah, I wanted to throw a big thank you out to the Sheridan County Pilots Association. They hosted it. They put it together. JT Granger was the drive behind it. It's the first Wings and Wheels event that they've tried putting together here at the airport. It was a ticketed event. The proceeds were go towards a scholarship fund, the Fred M. Barton Scholarship Fund, to help other people that want to learn how to fly and become pilots. We ended up with a little over 200 attendees there. They had 2 bands, had live music, good food, a lot of people. They wanted to get people up to the airport that want, aviation and airport enthusiasts, aircraft enthusiasts, but also people that aren't, and have that interest and just kind of bring everybody together. Good social time. It was the weather tried putting a damper on it there on Saturday evening.
Yeah.
They had everything set out and the winds kicked up, so we did it inside the big Quonset hangar up there. We were able to move a lot of stuff in. They ended up with 10 or 12 cars, and there was probably 30 different types of aircraft out there, some local, some flew in. There was a nice corporate jet that they were allowing people to go in and out of and tour, and so it was just so I just I thought it was great that the Pilots Association put that together and something a little bit different that we've done that they've done in the past, and they call it their first annual, so I told them that night that I'm going to hold them to it, that it needs to be an annual event.
Oh, I think it'd be great to have that up there, annually go up and just, because individuals like myself who haven't been to the airport a lot, who haven't been to airports or around like civilian type planes a lot in my life, would love to go up there and explore a corporate jet, and things like that. Now, how many cars and planes were up there?
Just off the top of my head, I think they had probably close to 10 to 12 different cars up there. They actually had a couple of big pieces of farm equipment that John Deere had brought up.
Oh, great!
And then there was probably close to 30 aircraft sitting out on the ramps. So.
That's amazing. Now, do you have a favorite plane, John?
I really don't. If I have to go way back, I'm going to go way back to an F-4U Corsair, but we're going back into World War II era. We've got a couple of older planes up at the airport. We got an old Stearman up there, Cessna 195. I like the old radial engines. I just like the sound of them.
Yeah. And do you have a favorite car?
I don't.
I don't.
No.
I do. 1955 Chevy Stepside Street Machine.
There you go.
Candy apple red with the original oak bed. Ooh,
there you go.
That's a ride. Yeah. That's a ride. Tom, you got a favorite plane or a car?
Car is 57 Chevy, which I had. Planes, no favorites.
No favorites on that one? Now, the Sheridan County Airport will actually be conducting a mass casualty incident exercise on Wednesday, June 23rd. I've been a part of these in the past. Mr. Stopko, what is the purpose of this exercise?
Sure, and I think the 23rd is that Wednesday or is that Thursday? I could be wrong. I'm not sure which day it is.
Oh, I'd have to double check that. But it's definitely the 23rd.
It is the 23rd.
Okay.
Yeah, we're required, the reason we have to do it, we're required by our federal air regulations under Part 139 in order to have our operating certificate to provide air service, commercial air service. One of the requirements we have to do is every 3 years we have to have a full-scale mass casualty incident. And what that does is it allows us to exercise our capabilities, our emergency plans, policies, procedures, and help us focus a little bit on some of our decision-making, cooperation with our other agencies, mutual aid agencies, the fire department, other fire departments in the area, law enforcement, ambulance, hospitals, all of those types of agencies. They'll all participate in the drill. My operations supervisor, Robert Gill, has been spearheading it. He's been working with Jesse, with the emergency management coordinator. And for the last several months, they've been holding meetings on a monthly basis with all the agencies involved. They just did their last tabletop run-through of it last week, so they're ready to go with it. And so like I said, there's about 11, 12 agencies that'll be involved. Quite a few volunteers, a lot of players. The scenario, it's going to be a CRJ-200, which is the aircraft that services now with SkyWest. It'll be on final approach and ingest a couple geese into the engines and go down. There will be a simulated fire, so my fire crews have to respond. We have our own airport rescue firefighting crews at the airport, so we are the first responders to any of these types of incidences. So they'll respond. It is a simulated fire. We were going to have a real fire, but early on it was pretty dry here. The spring started off pretty dry.
Yeah.
And so we decided we wouldn't do any type of fire situation. We just simulate it. And they'll end up being probably 20 to 25 victims. There'll be a bus up there, so that they'll have to take people off of a bus and practice that extraction type of stuff. Rocky Mountain will be there to triage and put everyone in different triage areas. They will transport some of the victims up to the hospital. The hospital has requirements in order that they need to receive a number of patients, for their exercises and their requirements. The coroner's office will be there and take care of any of the fatalities that they may end up with. But they will have tags on them. I'm not sure if they're going to moulage them or not. They were going to moulage them, and that may change. It depends. And so it's a big exercise. It'll start off about 10:30 in the morning and probably last until about noon, 12:30. The other, if the public wants to come up and watch, they're welcome to come up and watch, stand along the fence by the terminal building. It'll be taking place out on what we call our crosswind runway, so the runway closest to the terminal building. It'll be shut down, and it'll be taking place out there. The other thing I'll let everyone know is all these responding agencies are going to be staged up at the airport in the business park. We're not going to run through town with lights and sirens and create a havoc coming through town or any other accidents, that type of stuff. So we'll stage everybody up there, and then they will just be released at certain amount of time that they have determined that they would normally be able to get to the scene on time. So,
wow, huge operation going on up
Yep.
there.
Yep.
How long does it take to really organize something like this? How long have you been working on it?
They've been working on it. They started working on it, I believe, last November, December. So it takes several months to go through it and to go through each agency, what the agencies need and for their individual requirements, so that we can not just take care of what the airport needs, but we want to make sure that the city fire or Goose Valley, Rocky, the ambulances, PD, Sheriff's Office, they've all got requirements, and have to participate in some of these drills and exercises every so often. So it's a chance to bring everybody together and see how it goes and mesh our plans together. And the biggest downfall that you normally see out of each one of these exercises is communications.
Oh,
and that's the nice thing about this is it'll be critiqued. There will be people that are critiquing each one of the agencies as the exercise goes along, and then they'll get together about a week down the road and they'll meet again and go through everything and see what needs to be changed.
Yeah, or adjusted and then give an initial report. Do you
Absolutely.
receive that report?
We do. Yeah, we have to have it for the FAA, so we'll get all that information. The FAA will receive a copy, and like I said, Robert has put everything together. They will have. He's just done a great job, and I'll have a full report on everything. So
That'll be fantastic to hear. Tom.
23rd is a Thursday, by the way.
Oh, it is a Thursday. Okay.
yeah,
So
that was probably my mistake. I
No,
think
it's
I
okay.
probably put Wednesday down when I gave you the talking point.
It's no
And then I
worries.
determined this morning that, no, wait, I think that's a Thursday.
it's no worries. Now, you said how many different organizations? 11.
11 plus, at least 11 that are going to be responding to it.
And everyone being evaluated for
Yep.
their particular
Everyone will be
duty.
everyone's got evaluators, and so they'll all be evaluated, and we'll go from there.
Now, you said this happens every 3 years.
Every 3 years, yeah. This is the first one we've had in several years, and that's because, excuse me, when before SkyWest Airlines was flying in with the CRJ's 200s, we were a different classification of airport. We were a Class 2 airport because the aircraft that Denver Air Connection and others were flying were a little bit smaller. Once we went to the CRJ 200, we moved up to a Class 1 airport, and so we started having to do the drill every 3 years. We did before FAA regulations changed back in the late 80s. Didn't have to do it for a while, and the FAA keeps changing regulations back and forth. So
That guy writing policy needs something to do, John.
it does. He does.
All right, I got to take a quick commercial break, but before I go, I got one more question.
Sure.
Regarding bird control out at the airport, just kind of popped into my head. How do we do that? Do we make sure that these geese and some ducks don't get around there?
We do. That's one of our jobs. I have federal permits for migratory birds. I have state permits for mammals, deer, elk, bear, whatever else, on an annual basis, and we can take so many of them, lethally take so many of them. We can harass and we can harass them, but it's all done through federal permitting. We've got a wildlife plan that we follow and report on an annual basis to both the Federal Fish and Wildlife and to the state Game and Fish Department. So that's one of the jobs that we do is wildlife every day.
Yeah, I was going to say, living where we live, we enjoy our wildlife, but every once in a while, they can wander into where they're not supposed to be. All right. When we return, we're going to continue with the Sheridan County Commission and the Sheridan County Airport. This is Public Pulse on 930 KROE, 103.9 FM, Sheridan.
This is Eric Jacobson, partner at Eliason Financial. I think we can all agree that living and working in Sheridan, Wyoming is an absolute privilege. At Eliason Financial, we support our community through volunteerism, philanthropy, and making a positive economic impact. To learn more about who we are and what our wealth management advisors can do for you, visit Eliason Financial online or call 307-672-3010. Securities offered through Royal Alliance Associates, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC.
Parker Mellinger provides business advisory services tailored for you specifically to help your business become compliant, tax efficient, organized, and strategically aligned with your goals. Think of us as part of your team. You will rest more comfortably knowing that you are covering all your financial bases and making an informed decision. Contact us today at Parker Mellinger. Our focus is where you're going, not where you've been.
The owners and staff at Kane's Funeral Home would like to thank the families of Sheridan and Johnson counties for choosing Kane's and allowing them to serve you during these hard times. Kane Funeral Home makes it their mission to take the stress and uncertainty out of ceremonial services. They own and operate the only crematory in Sheridan County, so your loved one is always in their care. Kane's Funeral Home. Call 673-5837 or visit them online at kanefuneral.com.
It's time to get on the road and enjoy some beautiful Wyoming landscape. But are your tires in good shape? Hi, this is Chris Hayden with Hammer Chevrolet. If you need new tires, come in and see us. We carry brand name tires like BF Goodrich, Bridgestone, Continental, Dunlop, Firestone, Goodyear, Hankook, Michelin, Pirelli, Uniroyal, and more. Provide us with a better price at the time of purchase and we'll match it. Find a better price within 30 days of the purchase and we'll refund the difference. You don't need to wait for a tire sale with our price match guarantee. Hammer Chevrolet, 107 East Alger.
Hi, this is Colton Bates with The Best Team, bringing you this week's best tip. If you're selling now, you want the highest value, which requires both timing and timeliness. Identifying the right time to sell is crucial to bringing as many buyers to the table as possible. The beautiful town of Sheridan is green, and buyers love the look, so there's no time like the present. Next, there's timeliness. The quicker you can respond to those buyers and allow them opportunities to visit your home, the more offers you potentially leave on the table. So let a best agent maximize your time. Call me, Colton, at 675-BEST or visit bestwy.net today.
Hi, this is Dan Marshall with Captain Clean, and I'm proud to be a part of Wyoming's premier cleaning company. Whether we are extracting floodwater from your home, cleaning a valued Oriental rug, or helping you breathe healthier by air washing your ductwork, we are committed to ensuring our service is the best and our prices fit your budget. Call Captain Clean today, 672-0726, or stop by anytime and tour our rug cleaning facility, located in the heart of downtown Sheridan.
We clean more for you. We're Captain Clean.
Good morning and welcome back to Public Pulse, brought to you by our friends over there at Eliason Financial. This morning, I'm joined in the studio by Sheridan County Commissioner Tom Ringley and Sheridan County Airport Manager John Stopka. Gentlemen, if you would do me the favor of throwing your headphones on, we do have an individual who's got a question that's called in. Now, all right, go ahead. You're on Public Pulse.
Yeah, hello. This is Brian Miller. How are you doing today?
We're doing good.
Hey, Good. I had a question about, you had a previous caller there that talked about vacating a portion of Carbon Hill Road.
Right.
And it's a case that I'm familiar with. And it's really not been a major, concern of mine to even think too much about this until I heard the little smackdown there of the previous caller. And the reason that it's a concern of mine, and here's my question will come at the end of these three notes here, is that it was stated that it's not a published highway, or it's not a public highway, and that's not true. It's not just an easement.
What I was trying to get across was that it is a county road, but it's not physically a road. And if you go up there and look at it like I have, it's hard to tell where the road used to be. So it is officially a county road. There's an easement through there for a county road.
And I've used that road back when just years ago when I was a kid working for the Forbes actually,
right?
To get to their different places on the ranch, and it is an unapproved highway according to the records.
Right.
Conjecture about it not being there being a solar farm. I found that interesting too that was stated because it's in the petition that's the case. It's a LLC out of Utah, and then the date of the hearing. I had initially been told that it was going to be the 21st. Now it's the 28th.
No, wait. We were going to consider the vacation on the 21st, okay? And because we've had two objections, the rules are that we now have to have a separate meeting to hear those objections, and that's been scheduled for the 28th.
Of this month of June?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Great.
That's all I wanted to know. And the only other question I would have is, before this is considered, has anyone at the airport, and this is for Mr. Stopka, have you considered having an SGAT study, a solar glare hazard assessment study done that's required by the FAA to put around? Because it would make sense to know if that's the reason for it. If you're going to even consider vacating a road for a project like that, it ought to be approved. And from where I sit, and I do this for a living, I do energy siting. It's awful darn close to the entry points on runways there, and solar glare could be a major issue. I'm just wondering if that's been done.
On the application that was turned down last year, a couple years ago, they did do a study, and any new applications are going to have to do another study and to make sure that any of the approaches are not affected by any solar glare.
Okay, I understand it. Last time it was about 3 miles away from the runways. Now it's about a mile.
Right.
Then my question is, aren't we a little bit premature trying to do all this work before a study like that has been done?
We're not doing any work. The only thing we're dealing with now is the road vacation request. We have not received a solar panel, a solar energy application as of yet.
Understood, but it's in the petition that's what it's for.
Okay, so what
I'm saying is we should be looking ahead, not trying to catch up afterwards and trying to fix something after the fact. That's why it costs the public a lot more money over time.
We're not fixing anything after the fact, okay? When we get the application, we will deal with it, just like we did the other application.
Good.
There'll be public hearing, the whole works.
Okay, great. Well, I look forward to it. I'll look forward to being there on the 28th.
Great.
All right. Now, Mr. Stopka, there has been a lot of construction at the airport over the last few years, and even more is about to take place. What's going on up there?
Yeah, Floyd, we got a terminal building project that will probably be kicking off here first part of July, second week of July. It's what we call, it's our second phase of the addition to the terminal building. It is on the baggage side of the building. So it'll be on the south side of the building. A couple years ago, we put in a new secure hold room, screening checkpoint for passengers. This is going to take care of the incoming, outgoing baggage. And we opened bids up earlier this month on it. Got good bids, and so we're going to move forward with the project. I take it to the county commissioners next Tuesday to award the project, to Dick Anderson Construction. And Morrison Merrily is my engineering firm with the airport. QC10 Architects are the architectural firm that's on this project. We're going to be adding about 3,700 square feet to that end of the building, and then remodeling another about 4,300 square feet in the building. It's going to create some inconvenience for the flying public. We're still going to have all of our flights. We're still going to be open. The front part of the building will be shut down, and so we've got, and I will get a PDF, a drawing, an exhibit sent up to you that you can put online. It'll show where our new the temporary pickup drop-off for passengers is going to be located, because the loop that goes around in front of the terminal building will be completely closed. The two front doors that people are used to going in and out of, they will be closed down. We've got a door on the north end of the building that people will use to go in and out with. So there's going to be a lot of activity in there. It's going to be a little bit crowded at times. But we're excited to get this going and get this project started and completed. It won't be completed until about February, March of 23, a big project. Part of it is TSA will be upgrading some of their equipment. They will be bringing in what we call CT80. It's an X-ray machine for luggage, so that they won't have to open up your bags anymore and hand search any of your belongings in your luggage. It'll all go through a large machine. It'll be set behind into another room. You won't see it, and so we're excited to do that. But like I said, there's going to be some inconvenience. That front part of the building will be shut down, and we'll get the word out and look forward to getting the project going.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we are a normal airport because normal airports always have construction going.
That's something I've noticed myself.
That's
yeah.
right. We do.
Yeah, every time I go down to DIA, they've got something covered.
This is going to be a big, when it's all done, the whole terminal is going to be a first-class operation.
Yep.
That's fantastic. Now, you said that this will slow things down a little bit. Should folks arrive at the airport earlier than usual?
Right now they need to be there about an hour before check-in time. I don't think they need to be there any earlier. Everything should, the ticket counter for the airlines is going to remain where it's at through this whole process. It will be moved when the project is over with, but we're going to work around that so we don't have to try and relocate them during the project. Rental car counters are going to be relocated during this project. And because of everything shutting down part of that terminal building, I am taking some of the chairs that are in the actual waiting area, pre-screening area, out. So there's not going to be a lot of places for people just to sit and wait for TSA to open up the screening. So I still think that hour beforehand gives you plenty of time to get in, get your luggage checked in, and then get into the screening area. Once you're into the screening area, you're out of sight, out of mind, and nothing going on in that area. So.
Okay. Now, what other projects are slated for this summer?
We've got some navigational aids out on the airfield, what we call PAPIs and reels. They're precision approach path indicators and runway end identifier lights. They're all about, and if you drive up there, you can see things flashing and stuff. They're all about 25, 26 years old, getting hard to find parts. So we're going to replace all those with new LED fixtures. We've got a parking lot planned. We just built a parking lot. It'll be coming in the early next year up there. So a lot of different things coming. A lot of projects over the next 5 years.
The airport just continues to grow.
It does. It will.
And that's a good thing.
It is a good thing.
Mr. Sopka, I want to thank you for coming in. It was a pleasure meeting you face to face. And Commissioner Ringley, always a pleasure having you on here, sir. I greatly appreciate it.
Nice to be John's wingman.
Wingman for the day, right? All right. You've been listening to Public Pulse on 930 KROE and 103.9 FM. Sheridan.